Today's topic is when we are under attack. Thank you for joining me. My name is Vicky. You can find me on my website vickysforum.com or on social media at vickysforum. The enemy is constantly throwing arrows at us, whether we are aware of it or not. The enemy never sleeps. He is always wandering around the earth looking for people to devour. Attacks come in all sorts of ways. He may incite us against ourselves. He may incite others against us. He may attack us with diseases and illnesses. He may attack our loved ones. He may cause calamities. He is always at work. The enemy does not want us to prosper. He instills voices in our minds telling us that we are not good enough. He tells us we are failures. He tells us we cannot make it. He tells us that other people do not like us. The enemy is the father of all lies. The enemy may also be at work in those around us. He tells them lies about us. He tells them that we are not what we seem to be. He tells them we are not the people we claim to be. People start attacking us and telling lies about us and doing us wrong. They attack our families, our jobs, and our friends. The enemy wants us to get secluded. He stirs hatred among us. He wants us to talk bad about others. When the enemy secludes us from those who love and support us, he then strikes. He wants us to give up. He aims to instill guilt and shame in us. The Pharisees and Sadducees were always attacking Jesus. They were always on the watch, looking for something they could use to turn people against Jesus. Matthew 16 verse 1 says, "Then the Pharisees and Sadducees came and tested Jesus by asking him to show them a sign from heaven." That is how the enemy works. He will tell us that when we said something, we meant something else. He will tell us when we did something, it was for a wrong motive. He will keep tempting and telling us to do or say things that go against the word of God. He is very cunning and persistent. The enemy is always monitoring our words and actions to find fault. He will say, they are not who they pretend to be. They are cover-ups. The word of God is the sword by which the enemy is defeated. Evil cannot be defeated with evil. We have to be on the watch lest we fall prey to the traps of the enemy. The enemy wants us to get into the mud with him. He wants to smear us with mud. If we do get into the mud, he is the only one who enjoys it. He will start shouting to others, telling them, "Look, I was right about these people." Instead, we are to defeat evil with good. Romans 12 verse 20 to 21 says, "On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." We rise up against injustices. We should always seek God concerning the way to go about it. The enemy is always watching our every step, ready to throw an arrow at us. We are not fighting flesh and blood. The attacks are spiritual. The enemy knows that when the mind is attacked, even our bodies go into distress. We should never give the enemy a foothold into our lives. We should never entertain the enemy. He comes into our lives with the sole purpose of stealing, killing, and destroying. The devil masquerades as an angel of light. That is why it is important for us to build up treasures of the Word of God in our hearts, so that we can be able to test the spirits. The enemy does not announce himself as the enemy, but the moment he finds an open door, he starts executing his plan to ruin us. Not everyone is supposed to be in our lives. Not everyone is our friend. Not everyone wants to see us prosper. Not everyone is good-willed towards us. May God help us. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 13 to 14 says, "For such people are false apostles, deceitful workers, masquerading as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising, then, if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve." The Bible tells us we shall know them by their fruit. Yet most of the time we are in denial. We are not ready to accept what people are telling us about themselves by their actions. Then, before we know it, we are in deep entanglement. We try to rationalize what we see. We say, "No, maybe they are just joking. Maybe they do not mean it." We cannot rationalize with the enemy. The enemy knows what he is doing. The enemy is not our friend. Thanks be to God, we know where our power comes from. Through Christ's death and resurrection, we are able to access heavenly resources to fight against all attacks of the devil. Luke 10, verse 19 says, "Behold, I give you the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." God helps us recognize attacks that are thrown towards us. We do not give into the schemes of the enemy. God helps us discern quickly, and he guides us in the way we should go. When we are under attack, we go to God. We know the truth. No weapon formed against us shall prosper, and we condemn every tongue that rises against us in judgment. God does not want us to stay quiet. We speak up, but do it in the way he directs us to. We do not allow abuse, mistreatment, or injustices. The Lord is our strength and shield. He gives power to the weak. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 3 says, "But the Lord is faithful. He will establish you and guard you from evil." Where then does our help come from? Our help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. He never slumbers. The Lord is our keeper. Be blessed.